Hello, podcast listeners. I'm Lai Yun, and I'm delighted to bring you a new series of podcast episodes celebrating International Women's Day from someone I believe is an empowered Asian woman who's enabling others to live their best life with her work as business coach, author, podcaster, and entrepreneur, Dr. Ramesh Ramachandra.
We live in a time of profound changes where we as women are mobilizing ourselves and our families to empower each other to be free to live our best lives. Every day in the news, we learn about women standing up for a better future, from activism to business to politics. But there's also the everyday woman who is going about doing their job and contributing to this movement. It might be unnoticed, but they are doing something too. We don't need a revolution. We need a collective change of mindset.
And what better way to drive awareness and action than our collective celebration on March 8th, which is International Women's Day. This program was put together to inspire and empower women all over the world. In our podcast, Thriving in the Age of Disruption, Dr. Ramesh is joined by women who are making an extraordinary difference in their communities and the world at large.
We have got to figure out how we can pool our resources together to tackle those seemingly intractable issues.
These inspiring women are giving us a glimpse into their world, their dreams, and the paradox of being a woman in today's society.
Mom and Dad went to work. We had Cantonese amas looking after us. But our Cantonese amas were very old school, and they only sayang the boys and they bullied the girls. And they always say, oh, you're going to get married, you don't belong to the family anymore, And from then on, I started becoming a feminist. I started standing up for my rights. And I also understand that there's so many women like me, never self-actualized. Not many of us at that time went to the university. And so I started the Singapore Shawl to help the marginalized women, because I realized we want the respect that they should give us.
These game-changing women are the ones who cannot be dismissed as tokens. They're the ones who change the rules and make it possible for others to follow.
Obviously, there was a need at that point of time because women were just going out to work in those days. Factories were opening in Singapore. Jurong was then opening up, and we had a lot of young women from Malaysia coming down to Singapore to work. And they really didn't know much about working environment, employment. There was harassment and things like that going on that they didn't know what their rights were. We had just started the Women Lawyers at that time in 1974. We got to talk to all these factory workers on employment rights, women's rights. The Women's Charter at that time had just come out.
The most common theme I heard was that the women were not aware of how much they meant to the younger generation. These women were just living their lives, struggling with their issues, and with the devastating effect that the COVID pandemic is having on their livelihood.
I lost $250,000 of project when the COVID struck. I was lost. I don't know what to do. Everything I built was gone. I was devastated. I don't know if I would ever be relevant again post-COVID.
We share stories of women who rise above the challenges they face, who grow in strength to compete with giants, and what a huge difference they can actually make.
That is the first event that I attend as Honorable Ambassador of Sudan. So when the meeting about to start, people think that I'm late. And they need to wait for the Honorable Council of Sudan coming. I'm saying, oops, sorry, I'm that person. And it was a shock for the whole room because it's not only that I'm a woman, but I'm very young. I just have one objective, what can I do for other people? As a young female leader, I can get attention and I can start to introduce a lot of things to Vietnam.
You'll also hear from Dr. Ramesh her personal story of overcoming crisis.
In late 1999, I had started my first technology company, and we were going to list it, and then the dot-com crash happened. And from an exciting IPO, I now had to liquidate the business. And it was made worse by the fact that this business failure was made public in the newspapers, and I had to deal with that. And around this time, unfortunately too, my divorce had been finalized, and the challenge was to make sense of the circumstances and to move on.
A lot of times, these stories are like little drops of hope that we can draw from and become better versions of ourselves. I hope this special edition of Thriving in the Age of Disruption podcast will resonate with you as much as it has with me. So come listen and join a tribe of changemakers who care to live their best lives, influence society positively, and uphold sustainable and ethical ideals. You've heard from Dr. Ramesh, Miss Christy Davis, Miss Shelley Siu, Dr. Anama Tan, Dr. Nisha, and Miss Feng Yen Tran. Would also like to have your voice included. Follow Thriving in the Age of Disruption podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And visit drramesh.com to tell us what's the biggest challenge for women in your country. See you on drramesh.com. That's drramesh.com.